So first off, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today and celebrating my mom and dad, Bob and Mary Jane, on their 50th wedding anniversary. So congratulations, guys. Woo-hoo! 50 years. So 6% is the number of marriages that last 50 years. I think what makes things even more challenging is when you introduce children into the mix, right? So that always makes things a little bit more challenging on a marriage, and especially when you're adopting children. So I think that most of you guys know here that my sister and I are adopted. So I think, that adds a whole nother level of challenge to a marriage. And before I even go on, I want to thank Jessica for helping put all this together. So Jess, thank you. And a very special thanks to my wife, who literally makes everything 10 times better than I ever could imagine in my head. So Jolene, thank you. She takes everything and makes it phenomenal, spectacular. So she's great. Very special person. Takes a special person to be married to me. So I meant that more like a compliment to you, not to myself, but that might have come off different. A lot of things add challenges to a marriage, not only having children, but also finances, right? So finances are one of those things that add a lot of challenges into a marriage, and something that left an indelible mark on myself as a child is what we went through with Eastern Airlines, right? So I think it was 1990 or 1991. 1989. But, for me, I remember very vividly, when we were growing up, we lived a very, very good life. My dad was doing very well with Eastern, and one guy could take it all away because they felt like that a company was worth more in pieces than it was together. But through all that, I remember sitting in office buildings at night, watching my sister, making sure that, while my mom and dad would clean office buildings, and they went from working at Eastern to every night after school sitting in these office buildings while they cleaned. But through all that, what I learned is that my parents never let my sister and I see the struggles that they were dealing with. And I know they must have been tough, right? Going from where you were, and now that I have a family of my own and Jessica has a family of her own, we know how difficult it can be dealing with those struggles, and we never felt that. So I want to say thank you to you guys for always providing us with a great life, even though I know you guys were going through a lot to provide that life to us. So I want to say thank you for that. And then you not only raised your two kids, but then you also stepped in and helped raise a third child, which was awesome. But again, another layer of stresses on a marriage that for it to last 50 years is a testament to what you guys have. So I just want to commend you guys on that. And the other thing that I always tell people is that I've never seen my parents argue. And look, no marriage is perfect. Anybody who's been married knows that marriages are not easy. They take a lot of work. But I've never, as a child, seen my parents argue in 50 years. So they undoubtedly had their differences, but to not bring their kids into it and not let us have to experience that, I want to say thank you for that also, because you guys showed me and Jessica what it was like to have a strong marriage and a strong family. So thank you for showing us and leading us by example. I want to thank you for that. So individually, my dad's a man of few words. So my dad's not one that would sit me down and have long talks with me as a child or have these big long speeches. And I'm already sitting my kids down and having conversations with them about different things. But my dad didn't do that with me. But what my dad did do with me was he was always leading me by example. So I always got to see what a man should do for their family. by watching him. So every single day he got up, whether he was going to work at Eastern or he was going to work at Dan Burns Oldsmobile or he was going to work at Adios Golf Course, he got up every day, didn't call in sick, and did what he had to do to support his family. And that taught me what a man should do for his wife and for his kids. So thank you for always leading by example. I appreciate that. You know, for me, my mom always made me feel like I was good enough. So I feel like she always gave me the confidence that no matter what I did, whether I was doing great in school, whether I wasn't doing good in school, it was always good enough. You know, and I was always good enough. And I feel like that gave me the confidence that today I can stand in front of a room full of people and know that I'm good enough. So I want to thank you for that, because that's something that you just can't replace that, right? You just can't, there's no way to replace the feeling of standing in front of somebody and just realizing it doesn't matter what they think, because you know that you're good enough. Also, she always made us feel like everything was okay. No matter what we went through, Mom was always there for us to make sure that we knew that that the family was going to be okay and we were going to be together. And Mom was always the mom that was the mom of all the friends, right? So she was always taking us everywhere, picking us up. She was the mom. She'd always joke that she's going to put a taxi sign on top of the car, but you know what? That's what a mom is. And that's, you know, like, you were always there for me and all my friends, and just making sure that I was doing the right thing. And I feel like I found a wife today that does the same exact thing. Like, she's involved in every step of the way, all the stuff with the kids. But that means a lot to us when we're growing up, to give us a strong foundation, and you guys have done that. So I always thank God that I was adopted into a family like you guys, because it could have went way different. So it's I think when you're adopted, it's you never know why you were adopted, why your parents didn't want you, or what was not, you know, what was going on in the situation, but it's a blessing every single day that I got to be adopted into Mary Jane and Bob's family, because they gave me such a strong foundation to be the man I am today. So I want to thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. So for me also, and I know I can speak for Jessica with this, is that we're very excited about the next chapter of your lives. You guys have done a phenomenal job raising 2 generations of kids. And we're very excited to see you go on the next journey for yourselves. So it's time for the RV. I'm going to make sure you guys do it. I'm literally going to put the for rent sign in front of your house for you, and we're going to rent it out so you guys can get on your way. But what I'd like for you guys to do, so 50 years ago, you guys danced to this song. So I would like for you guys to dance to this song today, and kind of just remember for a second what it was like 50 years ago. So thank you. Love you.
Till the sky, till all the seas run dry, till then I worship you. Till that tropic sun turns cold, till this young world grows old, my darling, I'll adore you. You are my reason to live.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and sharing this very special occasion.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for getting married so we get out of this party.
Thank you to my kids, to my son, to my daughter-in-law, to my daughter, to my Bernard, to everybody.
You deserve it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Big surprise.
Big
Oh, good.
surprise.
I think you had it in you.
Yeah, I know. I need a lot of help.